Well, here we are.
Well, here we are. Came from the country, master the bare knuckle fighter. Yeah, I'm an American, UET silk diver. Your mind can't conceive all the places I've been, to the ends of the earth, hell and back again, yeah. Never been the one to run away, around the world with the gun in my hand. You're damn right, baby, I'm a frog man.
Okay, people, it's bright and early, October 8th. See how we got going here. Looks good. Okay, I finally have accomplished, oh nice, the suspension automatically lifting on my wife's Toyota here. Didn't know it had that. Okay, so we have not used this trailer in like 2 years. It's been sitting back there behind my bin, and I just went through the tires, and everything looks good. But this was a little premature. I was gonna wait till spring of 24, but I just found the perfect deal for us, and I'm going down to pick up our toy that we sacrificed. If you remember, when I was trying to buy this building here, I needed to come up with a down payment, and I sold everything I could sell. I was selling so many things, the kids were getting nervous. But guess what? We struck a deal on another side-by-side, and we're going to get it today. And I'm not getting a Polaris RZR this time. And after I show you guys this thing, I'll tell you why. So my wife and I are heading out. My kids think we're going to get a tire machine. I've said it many times, our family has had more fun in these things. We've had two in the past. We had one in 2015, we bought another one in 2019. And us four together, of the remaining kids under my roof, we've had more fun on these than we've had on our own little dirt bikes and stuff. So I just found my 48-inch carpet. I've been looking for that. One of my other trailers, I have two 48-inch black carpet that I lay on the bed and I haul the dirt bike on, and it just very comfortable for me. So this, I wondered where this thing was for a year and a half. It's been right here, the wind blowing under this one. It's a good thing I saw that. So during the year that we did not have a side-by-side, I did a ton of research, and you've probably heard me say this before. I think the Can-Ams probably look the coolest to me. They look like some superhero villain killer vehicle, but from the people I've talked to, they're a little more wider and longer, and you kind of lay down when you sit in them, and I've heard they're really hard to work on, so I just stayed away from that. I've preferred the RZRs for the last 5 years. As you've seen, I had those other two. Just because they were smaller, and we do a lot of trails up here. From my house, we can go right up into San Bernardino Mountains. We can go right out into Johnson Valley from the house, and we do a lot of that. The Can-Ams are made for like bigger bowls up in Glamis, where you can get going really fast because you have a longer wheelbase and stuff. And the RZRs can still do that, but they're just a little smaller and a little more versatile, and that's why I kept defaulting to the RZR. So I watched a couple of videos about these KRXs, and it took more than just a couple of videos. I watched this guy buy one brand new. He beat the heck out of this thing.
Let's just drive over it. Hit it harder.
Yeah. He's got an hour-long video on his website if you want to see it. And then I was watching these other guys that were all rock crawler guys, and they tested these KRXs, and then the next scene was them in their shop stripping their razors, and they were stripping their Can-Ms because they'd all went out and got the KRXs for rock crawling. So Kawasaki admits, look, we're not trying to compete with Can-Am. We're not trying to compete with Polaris. We're not trying to make a lightning fast dune screamer, right? They're trying to make like a UTV utility truck that can do all of it, and it can. We just went on a ride here, and this thing went up some stuff that I had no idea it could do it, and it went straight up it with all 4 of us in it. So after watching those videos, and I did a ton of reading about these things, like if I'm going to spend this kind of money, I want to be super happy. So I knew what I'd get with the razors. Never had a Can-Am, but these Kawasaki's just stood out to me. So coincidentally, when I was down at Del Amo Motorsports in Long Beach, and I was picking up my son's KLX 140 over there a year ago, I happened to sit down, I sat down right in front of one of these, and I leaned up against the front right there. And it was a 2-seater model, but I started to look at the A-arms, the control arms. I started to look at the control arms, and I started to look at the suspension. And I noticed that the diameter of those parts was way beefier than the razors. And then those front control arms, they actually arc them from the ball joint up. They arc them like that so that it has way more clearance for rocks and stuff. And I'm like, wow, this looks really impressive. So here I am waiting to pick up the KLX for my kid for his Christmas present. And I start really checking out a 2-seater. It looked just like this, but it was a 2-seater. And the suspension was beefier. The doors were real. It had real doors with 2 sides and full-size doors. I noticed it was longer, it was wider. The roll cage doesn't look goofy right out of the box. There was a lot more headroom in there, and I'm checking this thing out going, these KRXs are awesome for what we want to do. You might be a Can-Am or a Razor guy, but for what we want to do, I'm like, this thing might be the best thing for us. So I asked the salesman, is this thing stock? He said, that's stock. Those suspension components are stock. Now, there's 3 levels of the KRX, which I'll talk about very soon in this video. But after I saw one in person, and after watching the videos, I said, I got to get me one of these. The only downfall, in my opinion, I don't know why they wouldn't just do it. The technology is there. They have everything to do it. It's not a turbo. That means I won't own this thing forever because I guarantee you they're going to come out with a turbo. You can buy an aftermarket turbo. It's $6,000. So that's the one thing you would miss on this vehicle, because when I had the Razor with the turbo, it goes fine without it, but when you start to stand on that thing, the rear tires just spin, even with 33s, and the turbo made it super, super fun. So for the dunes, if you're going to be a duner, I would stick with a UTV that has a turbo. This vehicle will do the dunes, and we are going to dune it, and we'll bring you along. But I can tell you just from driving it that it's not going to have that, blow your hair back speed that my turbo Razor had. We were going up Lizard Hill, and I just stomped on the thing, and it flew up that thing. This will go up Lizard Hill, but you're going to have to get a run, and you're going to have to bury the foot in it. But again, we do more trails than we do sand. So I put the dealers to the test, and what I do is I give them all my info, and I say, run my credit. Here's how much cash I have to put down. I don't want to come down there unless we have a deal. I don't want to sit in your office and you play the game. You tell me what it is, and I'll tell you if I want it. And if you're fair, I'll sign the deal. And there was only 2 dealers that were willing to do that. I shopped Chaparral, I shopped Del Amo, I shopped Burt's, I shopped Langston Motorsports, I shopped Malcolm Smith. Those are the people I shopped. The only people that would give me a price was Langston Motorsports and Burt's Mega Mall. The other people would not. And I asked Del Amo, why don't you look, I just was there a year ago. I bought this KLX 140 for my kid. Paid cash for the thing. I'm not yanking you around. If you give me a deal on the phone, I'll come down and get it tomorrow. They wouldn't do it. They want you in the seat. They want you desperate. They want to hold you there. I'm not into that at all. Maybe when I was 20, but not anymore. So I struck a deal with Burt's. And then I found a year older model, brand new, for $6,000 less. So after we struck the deal, and I got home and I called them and said, look, here's a 2023 model for $6,000 less. And there's not a lot of changes other than graphics. So I got to convince somebody that shops for a living that it's worth $6,000 for the new model. They came down $3,000. So I went to Burt's and they hooked us up. Burt's is a huge place. They've been there a long time. I bought 2 quads from them in 2002. I bought a couple 400s for me and my wife before our kids were old enough to ride. They were super professional, super respectful. They kept in touch with me. Like the day before, I like to check, hey, we're on for tomorrow, right? In the morning of, hey, we're on for today. I'm heading down because it's an hour-and-a-half drive for us. So Burt's took care of us on this one. Del Amo took care of us on the KRX 140. They were great. And Langston took care of me on the red Razor that we did. They totally took care of me. We ended up buying the thing, brought it home, and here's the rest of the story. You want to check out the new tire machine?
Yeah, it's definitely a new tire machine, isn't it? Yeah, it's definitely it's a really cool tire machine. Oh my gosh.
Is that thing rad or what?
Can we take a ride in it?
We're going to go this evening, yeah.
Let's go!
We're calling coyotes and Bigfoots. All right. This is the back side, the north side of Tip Top Mountain. And it's overlooking all of the desert back there. That's Johnson Valley back there. On a clear day, you could see the Hualapai Mountains. Actually, I can see them right now. And those are back in Nevada. And see where my family is. You coming? And that way back there is Baldwin Lake. And then that very, very tip of that peak is Butler Peak, where I took my dirt bike. And then there's certain apple valleys down there. So, huge view up here. Come on over, buddy. You got this? Let me move out of your way. Just watch that step. That's a doozy. All right, you got it. Ah, it's shady up here.
I think I'm good.
There's a car down there.
On the road?
An old, smashed up, like a 1960s something. Come on up, buddy.
I don't want to die.
Woo.
I'm gonna head back.
Wait for me. We could hike up there. Yeah, that people live. That's where Daniel's grandpa lives.
Yeah.
Down there, or lived.
That's cool.
So we're seeing houses all down in there that where people live. Pioneer Town down there. It looks nice and peaceful down there.
Standing on some sort of foundation.
That's cool. Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
Pretty cool, huh?
Someone's been breaking glass. Get in easily. I don't think it's a good idea. I think it's a great idea. It smells like water.
I wish we have flashlight.
Seeing if I can call.
Watch your head. Oh, it gets bigger in here.
Bee landed on my face.
Oh,
Sorry.
are you okay?
Yeah. Oh, that was nasty. A bee went like this. It went.
Oh, they're all over in here.
Oh, I'm getting out. But yeah. It goes
Okay,
all the
I'll
way
get your
back
glasses.
there. Oh, thanks. Sorry.
Here you go.
Okay. A bee landed right on my ear. So loud.
Oh, that is cool. Oh, I gotta bring a flashlight next time. We gotta go in there. That thing goes way back there. Cool, man.
Park setting or no?
No, you just stop and it'll just stop. Have fun. You want to do it next?
Yes.
All right, yeah.
I can reach the pedals now.
Oh, yeah.
Easily. I just slide the seat forward.
Yeah, I can't believe this thing crawls so good. It's geared super low. So I'm going to go to 33s. And then I can air down. And they may be the same diameter as stock by the time I air them down. But just having fun. I mean, that speed, I want you to be like that speed.
Okay.
Okay, so here's what you do. You put your foot on the brake. And then you don't push hard. Just put your foot on the brake. And turn the key till it starts. And then you push the button on the handbrake and let it down. You pull it up, push down. There you go. Now you see what gear are you in? High, low, neutral, or reverse?
Hi.
So you can leave it in high. And you just get the feel of it. It's just, you don't use 2 feet. You never use 2 feet. You keep this foot planted and you go stop, go, stop, go. And it's all automatic. Yep, have fun. So when we first got this thing, we're at the dealer, and Colby jumps in the front seat. He's all, "Oh look, I can drive it," because he couldn't drive the Razor that we had last because it was just too little. So, $40,000 toy. Hopefully, you don't crash. So this thing has 3 suspension settings, and if I haven't mentioned it, that was one of the biggest weights on the scale of buying this over another Razor. I don't like the Can-Ams. I like the way they look. I think the Can-Ams look the best out of all of them. They just look gnarly. There you go. There you go. Get on that thing. So you set the thing in soft when you're going really slow, and you don't feel anything. I mean, all these little rocks that we are going over, you don't feel anything. And if you're scooting at like a medium speed, like 15 to 20, through a trail that's got some dips and stuff, if you put on medium, it won't bottom. And then when you pick up your speed, you put it on hard, you don't put it on stiff. And we hit 2 jumps today with this thing. Probably flew like 15 feet, and the suspension just sucked it all up and stiff. If it was in the soft mode, I would have bottomed, I could tell, because it's really soft. But I love it because it has those adjustments right out of the box. My biggest problem that I had with my Razor was that I wanted to yank the suspension the minute I got a brand new Razor because I hated feeling all the little stuff, the low speed stuff, and these guys can crank them up for about $800. They can fix all that, but this is stock right out of the box. This trick. So here's the real reason, the one that put me over the edge. This suspension is electronically controlled. If you're going to make a left turn, it'll load the right front and stiffen that shock. So you get less roll, less body roll. If you're going to make a right turn, it's going to stiffen the left front shock. If you're coming out of a turn and you're gassing it, if you're coming out of a right-hand turn, the right rear tire is going to, the right rear suspension is going to become stiff so that it doesn't do like a body wheelie. So it delivers more traction to the ground. The suspension, if you go watch the reviews, out of any stock side-by-side, this has the best suspension on the planet out of the box. There's a soft, a medium, and a firm. We took off in this thing in soft. We could not feel any of the washboard at all. You put it in medium, you could now feel the washboard, but it didn't affect you. You could just feel that it was there. And then you go to stiff, the rig becomes lighter because it's tightened up the suspension, it's delivering traction better. It's responding to the steering. It feels lighter. When it's soft, it feels kind of heavy and loose, but it's super comfortable. When it's medium, you kind of get a combination of both. And when it's on stiff, it's like a race buggy. It corners like a Porsche and handles super, super sharp. So the things that I do immediately is I do a roof, I do mirrors, and I do flag mounts. So I got flag mounts, I got mirrors, I got a roof right there. And I also have this killer roof rack. I'm a little worried though. I hope it can, with the roof rack, it clears because it's pretty high. So this is the bone stock 2024 ES Terex KRX 4. And we're gonna have a lot of fun with this thing. Okay, so I got the mirrors on. These are the absolute best, raddest, most awesomest mirrors I've ever seen for a UTV. One drawback, I'll tell you in a minute, but these things rotate like this way, up and down. I mean, you can take this mirror off of here, flip it straight up and down like this. You can loosen this, slide it in and out. Here is where I got them. These are the best. What is the one drawback? When I was clamping it to the roll cage, I was having to tighten this thing super, super tight to the point where I'm like, this is gonna snap. I'm gonna break this bolt. And it's a sleeved setup in here, so it's really strong. You're grabbing all those threads. So what I did was I took some gaffer's tape and I put one little roll around the roll cage, and I didn't have to tighten this nearly as tight, and it's still plenty tight. The first two razors I had, I just couldn't see behind me very well. The mirrors were small. They're starting to make them nice and big like this, and it's just worked so well. There's the view from the other one over there. And then I put this mirror in, a rear view mirror. Now it hangs down really low, so I rotated the mount up so it's not as low, and I can even go higher, and I might, but I gotta put the roof on. And you see how that clamp comes over the top there? I gotta figure out what to do there. I remember on the last roof, I actually put a spacer here, and I lifted the roof about a quarter inch, half inch, and I may have to do that. So what's really cool about putting a roof on this one is the last two razors they were these little clamps, and then you had to put the bolt through the hole, through the clamps, and then you had all these bolts all the way across with these straps. Kawasaki designed their roll cage to have these bolts in it, and Tusk's roof bolts right to the roll cage. So you're not dealing with like 95 screws, you're dealing with this much hardware to put that two-piece roof on. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. When you're putting this roof on, first thing you do is you put this little gasket up here on top of the whole roll cage, and what that does is it keeps the, it's a metal roof, it keeps it from vibrating, making all kinds of rattling noise. So we're gonna bolt the thing on here. Future's so bright, I gotta wear shades. What's it doing?
Come on, bud. Oh. Come on. Oh, nice.
All right, so that was like the easiest 5 minutes. 4 bolts, it's in there. This looks a little sketchy right here, but I'm guessing I bolt the front half to that, and that's where the time's gonna be. So it's nice having a roof back there, huh?
Yes, I feel like I'm in a razor again.
Yeah, so nice. All right, so let's get the front one on. I'm not boring you with the process, just showing you the progress. All right, so that was super easy. I'm only got 6 bolts on. 2 rear, 2 middle, 2 fronts. I was putting the spacers in the wrong place. Spacers go between the frame here and the roof. I was putting the spacer down here like a dummy. But the good news is this mirror, the way I have it rotated, it clears right to where the roof is. It actually stops and touches the roof there. So that fits perfectly. Let's go ahead and bolt the rest of this down. This looks like all these holes across the top. All right, she's on there. The roof is on there, and look, listen how it sounds. No clanky, no rattly. If you know what you're doing, you could put this thing on in 30 minutes, literally. It's that easy. I have this rack. Here's a picture of the rack. This one's got some hardware. So I don't know if I'm gonna do that one today, but it'll get on there. And then the next thing I'll get is a spare tire mount for a spare, and then I also have a tailgate for it. They don't come with a tailgate, but I found this cool one here. Bolts into the factory bolts, and you know, you put in your cooler and stuff like that. If you remember in one of my videos, I was blazing through the dunes like 50 miles an hour, and I forgot to tie the cooler down. It stayed in there. All right, I'm letting someone ride my drive my baby. I'm letting my son-in-law take his family out for a little evening trip. I need something. This will work. All right, so we've had this thing for like a month. We had the one initial ride where we went up to the top of Hesperia, but since then I've done a roof, I've done mirrors, and I put a tailgate on the thing, and we're just gonna head up to Cactus Flats and just go to Tip Top Mountain and cruise around because it's such a beautiful Saturday. So here we go. We'll take you with us. It won't be a lot, but you'll see it. All right, so this is where we brought the trailer on the very first trip, remember?
Yeah. We were right, wait, we were right here.
No.
Right there?
Yeah, we were right there. And so we're back, yeah. So it's, you know, there's not a lot to do up here, but it's a short drive from our house, 30 minutes. And we're going to take the KRX, the KRX. So we're going to take the KRX out and go to Tip Top Mountain. So here we go.
Ready and strike. And left. Yay! Inward blocks. Ready and right. Yay! Left. Yay! Right. Yay! Left. Yay! Right. Yay! And left. Yay! Outward blocks. Ready and right. Yay! Left. Yay! Right. Yay! Left. Yay! Right. Yay! And left. Yay! Downward blocks. Ready and right. Yay! Left.